Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Past The Barb. Today is, I think it's Wednesday. Is today Wednesday? My days are all jumbled up.
Verified Wednesday.
Okay, it's Wednesday, January 25th, and as most of you know, the podcast should have been released by now. However, Pink and I were on the other side of the country, and I spent the last 31 hours behind a car, like I can't.
Driving is the word you're looking for. Driving.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't think currently.
Horse and buggy?
Behind us. Yeah, a horse and buggy, a steering wheel. So we were literally unable to record. It was not possible. So, back now, back in Minnesota, back home, and we're recording another episode. So time to catch up with everybody. We will be talking about that trip on the next episode of Past The Barb. We'll have all the Chronicles boys on. You'll get some behind-the-scenes stuff before anything even comes out. And, we'll probably even tell you where we went next Monday. We'll let it out of the bag a little early. But anyways, I am joined to my left, I think, by my man, Mr. Cody Hahner.
You're right, but,
Yeah, as I
Dude's
was saying,
brain is absolutely fried.
I was trying to figure out if, I can say to my right based off of, where I'm looking at the screen or where you're sitting. Yeah, do you want to touch tips again?
Clinky.
Clink. Okay, and then down, taking up the bottom of the screen, all the elbow room always is Mr. Ryan Pinkalla.
Back, bottom, holding it down.
Yeah,
Mr. Will Jamin's not here.
You do like the bottom of it.
You know I do. Yeah.
All right, so we are back. We are ready to get after it, and we're just gonna get rolling on it right away. This episode's probably gonna be pretty quick because we still got a lot of things going on, and I got to get the next episode of Chronicles up. But anyways, we are going to roll into let's do you guys want to do current events right away, or do you want to talk about some Michigan stuff first?
We could chat Michigan a little bit, I think.
All right, let's chat some Michigan stuff. Hahner, you're familiar kind of with the area of the UP we were in. We were staying up in Marinesco.
Yeah.
So that first episode of the UP just came out. The next one will be from the UP as well. So people like that. But Pink, what do you want to chat about from the UP? The number one thing I thought of, when I got into Ironwood with Griff, I wasn't prepared to see, I know the snow affects snow and shit. I know that. But, I wasn't expecting to seeing 10 feet just from plow drifts.
Oh, man. If you've ever partied up at Michigan Tech, up at
Who's
home.
ever partied up at Michigan Tech?
I've known many.
Such a lie.
I had
you said that with so much confidence. Everybody's done it.
I tell you what.
What was her name?
I was about to go into
what
Theo
was it?
Vaughn. Her name was Matthew Bouch. She's a chiropractor.
She sounds
cracks her back. Oh, he's a thick boy. He was up in Michigan Tech. Matthew Bouch earned a scholarship as a soccer player going into football because he was half linebacker, half kicker, half punter.
The legs on this guy.
Humongous. But yeah, if you've ever been up there at this time of year, oh my gosh, you've never seen snow like this.
Dude, just like the plow pile on the side of the road.
Insane.
Steady 10 foot.
No literally question. To the ceiling. Every night too.
Griff said, and I agree with, the richest person in the UP is that snowplow driver. Because all he does is drive around in circles for 6 months.
Literally. And not to go back on my maid, my bride here, but no, we had his room. There was a tarp over a section of his wall that he slept in. So it was a constant negative 25 in his room every night. Where I was
can I just cut you off and ask, why the hell is there a tarp on this guy's wall in his bedroom?
That's, it was a football guy's room. I don't know. I think a head went through it at one point in time.
And they were just like, sheetrock tarp. Same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the guy was like a 230-pound punter. Like
230-pound tonner.
he roomed with linemen. They got a little rowdy.
Oh my God. But no, yeah, the straight level of snow is insane. It's also crazy. So we were staying at the Root Cellar Resort, which is it's mainly known for a snowmobiling resort. Oh my God. Like it felt like you were at what's it called in North Dakota with the motorcycles?
Dude, you are on fire right now.
I know. I'm killing it.
Sturgis?
My
Is
brain.
that what you're
Sturgis.
talking about?
Sturgis.
Yeah.
Yes. If so all day there felt like Sturgis, except there's snowmobiles. Because
Dude,
24/7,
it's
all you heard
crazy.
was
And like the cabin we had, right? It is literally on the snowmobile trail.
Yeah.
Like no less than 10 feet from our door is the snowmobile like highway.
Yeah.
So these thousands just going. And then
you think thousands is crazy? It was thousands. Like we're
Constant.
not
Actually.
being crazy. It was
Constant.
legitimately thousands of snowmobiles.
Like
yeah.
like Highway 51, which goes straight up to the UP through Wisconsin, is straight snowmobile trailers this time
Yeah.
of year.
Yeah,
Straight
believe that.
like jacked up, trucks to make them look like they're country, but they're coming. They have Illinois plates on and whatever, and they've got their snowmobiles. They're ready to fucking rip. We're gonna rip. We're gonna rip some snow. Tear. And it's just, and then once you get up there, you're like, oh, all right.
Dude, and like where we were, right? So they have like a little like lodge spot where I think people go just like hang out at the bar and then they rip to the next place. I don't know how far it was or anything.
Oh yeah.
But like, dude, this place is just jammed. Like we're trying to unload our shit in the middle of all of it happening. Like
Yes.
we're just dragging houses down the like snowmobile trail to our cabin, just blocking people up. We're like, sorry.
Yeah. It
Whole
was funny
time,
too.
yeah.
Every night, right as the sun was setting, it was like everyone walked out and was like, "Time to honorarily start your snowmobile and take off as fast as you can for the next 30 minutes on Lake Gogebic."
It's
Dude, and
like-
and we fished on Gogebic one day too. And I mean, I don't know how long that lake is. Bart, do you know what like that distance is? It's
I think
long.
John said like 11 miles.
Okay, well, we ran most of it. I would.
It might even be more than that, but yeah.
it's more than 11 miles. I think it's closer
Okay.
to 20.
Well, whatever it is, we drove a substantial portion of it, and we maybe seen 5 other people ice fishing on the whole goddamn place. But
Yeah.
Yes.
everyone else is just ripping snowmobiles.
Yeah, there's still
Yeah.
it's just a snowmobile playground. Just
But even though it's like really known for like perch and shit, there was like 0 people there.
Yeah.
Like,
there was nobody
know,
there.
man.
But it was that, and the other thing with the UP was and just Gogebic made me think of it. I don't know how ice fishermen up there deal with slush. That sucks.
Oh, dude.
There is
Oh, with the
nothing
amount of
worse than
snow,
slush.
Dude,
it
sure.
is
Well, it was
crazy.
deep ass shit, like couple feet deep slush on top of the ice. So the guy we were with loaned us another snowmobile. So me and Bart were ripping that one. Dude, we're going and I'm driving, and no matter where we're at, you just have to hold it fucking pinned wide open because it's just like you're on water.
And
then you
hope
hit
for the
snow
best.
again, and then you'd get like whiplash, but then you'd go into another slush thing, and you're like, oh.
It is funny because once you hit like the hard part, like you're going, you're like, "Rrrr," and you're like just going through slush and there's water everywhere, and then all of a sudden you hit like hard ground and you just explode into the next galaxy.
Well, plus
because you're just like,
snowmobile
boom!
we had was an absolute monster.
It was
Like, I don't even know what the specs on that sumbitch were, but she rips. Okay. But like everywhere we went, we had 2 snowmobiles, and we were towing like ice shacks behind them. Those shacks are destroyed. Period.
The tarps on them.
Well, dude, you're like shooting terminal velocity slush at your
Yeah.
shack,
Yeah.
just trying to get out of there, and it was just shredding it, dude.
Yeah,
Everything was bare. There was like 100 pounds of snow just inside the shack.
Rip
Oh
to our
my
legend
God.
XL. Rip. That it's
Ugh.
toast. Absolute toast. And that is nothing against anybody who makes ice houses. Nothing. is going to stand up to that.
When
like
you're
Pink
shooting
said, you're shooting terminal
glass.
velocity glass and ice straight into it all day long. Like, what do you expect?
Well, and you can't go slow. Like, you have to go fast.
Yeah. So you're gonna crush it.
Yeah. But even the people out there were talking about getting sleds like buried up to the windshield in slush, and then having to like let them roll them onto their side and letting it like refreeze and come back the next day to like get them out and shit. I was like, this is stupid.
They were telling us like John was even saying something about like there's a certain method where like a side by side went down and it was above the top basically, but it was on slush,
on
like
top of the
on
ice.
On top of the ice. I don't know how that works, but like technically you're in the water at that point, I think. But basically the way he got it out was something with like you put milk crates under it a certain amount,
something like that,
and then it like kind of lifts up as it freezes. I don't know. It was weird, but
it sounded like a colossal mess. Really,
it sounded terrible. So yeah, that slush.
So definitely go there. Highly recommend.
Slush in general, yeah. I mean the lakes are beautiful, and we ran into a couple pretty good bites, but like, yeah, it was slush. Holy shit!
That was like the theme of that whole trip was just like, damn, there's a lot of slush.
Yeah, there was never a point you got off your snowmobile and we're like, oh, easy getting around today.
Yeah. Well, and like he's telling us about like, hey, like if you get stuck, don't just like go over there and like help him out because you'll just get, because he said there's like groups of guys that'll come up just snowmobiling and one guy will get stuck and then everybody comes over to help him and then they get like 10 sleds stuck at one time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's like, if you get stuck, like you're stuck.
So like we had one spot. I know Waldron buried one of the sleds in a slush hole thing. And I was coming over there and I stopped like 100 yards short and just like walked over there, which luckily it was enough time for him to get hella sweaty getting his shack out of the slush. So by the time I got there, it was already done. But we got him out. It was all good. But
the thing like with that was you did park that far away. Like we were a solid 70 yards from him, I'd say.
Oh, yeah.
When he parked and me and Pink got off, took 10 steps and we were in the slush pocket.
Oh, yeah. Like knee deep.
And we had to walk all the way over to the sled to help get him out.
Yeah.
And you were just like, yeah, holy balls. But it is a cool place. Like, it's very, very cool. It's just like, man.
It seems like a great place to go in the summer.
Yes.
The smallmouth bite is,
from
spectacular up there.
Wait until you see the next episode of their Chronicles, Hunter. Bigs.
I mean, I was up there one time with a group of guys that Pinkalla knows from college.
Oh boy.
One Brian Kurt.
Oh boy.
It was a good time.
Yeah.
Caught close to a 2-pounder.
Yeah.
If you know what that means. 2-pound perch. Oh yeah.
Bigs.
Had a lot of
tube. He's letting him out.
God, your mic just cut out like
dude,
Pinkalla's.
You're just dropping beats, dude.
And you were just like just saying tube. Dude,
that was good. We'll have to add on to that at some point.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna make that
we'll
into
keep that clip. That's good.
Yeah, that'll.
Oh,
summertime. What does Hunter throw for smallmouth? Tube.
We can let somebody.
That was crazy. I can't wait till you hear that in the post. Like that was unreal. I don't know what happened there.
It really locked in.
Couldn't hear it.
But
you missed out.
Anyways, but yeah. So anything else from the UP you can think of, Pink?
I don't know, dude. Like
it was a cool trip. The crazy thing is,
I don't want to give away too much of the fishing stuff because we're like going to show that, obviously.
Yeah, well, they're going to come out very shortly. And what's crazy is that was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. We just got back from basically January. We knew was going to be a complete marathon of travel. We hope everyone hangs tight as the videos come out here in the next couple weeks. But like I literally put like 12,000 miles on my truck in the last 3 weeks. Ice fishing. So we got some crazy stuff coming. It'll be really, really fun to see. And next week we'll have some more stories for everybody about where we just got back from. But we'll move on from the good old UP and we'll just go into some current events. First of all, Mr. Cody Hahner, current event wise, what do you got going on?
Okay, so I thought this is I thought this article was super funny and extremely biased from what Mr. Will Stolski has been telling us from Alaska as far as, the dredging and the long lining, whatever. I don't know what the terms are for this type of fishing.
Yep.
But the article, the title starts, China's rampant illegal fishing is endangering the environment and the global economy. And it basically says, case in point, exactly what the United States and their fishing ethics is doing in Alaska, what China is doing offshore. I thought it was hilarious. Like, the problem of illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing stems increasingly from state-supported deep water fishing fleets, including massive trawlers accompanied by sustainment vessels, freezer, and transport vessels. Damn these Chinamen.
They're literally just
I was
throwing China
reading
under
it,
the
and
bus.
it was like, okay, well, all right, well, we're doing kind of the exact same thing.
Like,
here,
we have that
people.
too.
Like, we
Yeah.
have that too. Like,
Also,
like
order
you're-
that for me.
like it was ridiculous. I'm just reading this article, and if you want to, it's on Newsweek, and it is hilarious how biased it is. Like, let me get to this one sentence. I'm trying to think. Dead air.
Yeah, I'm just trying to fill some dead air here. There we go. Pink, you got a current event you want to get into?
These
There we
fishing
go.
fleets target squid, tuna, mahi-mahi, sharks, and countless other species.
See, I'm picturing this more in like a David Attenborough type reading scenario.
And
Maybe
and instead of like the Paramount Pictures, like
Yeah.
group.
Yeah, the way you
Okay,
read
okay.
it, Cody, I just immediately think of Parks and Rec and the Bobby Newport.
give me some Planet Earth vibes on this one. Run it back here.
All right, hang on.
No, I you can do this.
Operating continuously in large groups with global reach, these industrial scale flotillas are able to drag massive nets, literally capturing everything in their wake.
See, that hit way harder, actually.
That was so good.
Often without regard for fisheries, laws, or consent of coastal nations. China.
Done.
China.
Would you like
I
to
like
do the
that,
next
yep.
voiceover for the Chronicles?
I guess I could.
We got to get the budget for David Attenborough. What do we need?
Oh.
Probably $30-$40.
Yeah, that's
He's retired.
I do it for 20.
Done.
I do it for 20. Yeah, deal. I got that. I got $20. I got some leftover toll money.
Oh shit.
Perfect. All right, Pink, what do you got current event wise?
So I got two. One of them short, but it's kind of crazy. So there's what country is this? I had to like read it back because it was some. I'll start with the other one. Oh no, here it is. Huh. So anyway, Pakistan.
Oh, he just cut out. Cody, you got to speak to fill the dead air. Come on.
I can. Little do you know.
I'm back.
Actually, you do know, Bart. I can speak in sign language just enough.
Just enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell us? Would you like to tell
the
a
words
story,
that you know
Cody?
in that language are not what we're looking for at this point in time.
Save that for another date.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Children.
Yeah, if enough people comment,
We need
about
a few
sign
more.
language,
We need a few more downloads before we're letting that
if
one
we
go.
get to 1,000 downloads on an episode, we'll tell Cody Hahner's sign language story.
Yeah.
All right. Oh Jesus! All right.
Oh, he cut out again. All right, if we get to 1,000 downloads, we'll do Hahner's sign language story. To preview, it includes sign language, the FLW tour, and a sorority house. So
Sorority house next to the most unaccompanied the most
What?
redneck town in the United States that we have been to, that the Elite Series will be going to
this
like
year,
Seminole.
that could be our preview to Seminole. We need to get to
Perfect.
1,000
That
downloads.
could be it.
Yeah,
And just so happens that
Tell
that
your friends.
college what has the mascot of the Seminole.
yeah. Wow, there we go.
Well,
Beautiful.
all right,
Okay,
all right.
Pinkalla, let's go to your event. We need
right,
1,000 downloads.
we'll
People,
try
send
this
it to your
again.
friends.
Yeah. If we go to 1,000, I'll buy new internet too.
Oh,
Okay.
thanks.
So anyway, U.S. Consulate General in Pakistan. Apparently, major backlash on Twitter recently because somebody photoshopped a picture of him holding what is like the Pakistan's like national animal, like highly whatever sacred in that country or whatever. Just a picture of him just gripping, grinning one that he killed, and then the
Hell yeah, brother.
the caption here. I got to get to the caption here. Says okay, so so he's saying that this is the same as the U.S. domination over Pakistan is what he's like the caption is for it. But basically, they're just like murdering their fucking national symbol of Pakistan, and he just like is like the picture is just like him like sitting on the side of a mountain, just like trophy photo with just a giant fucking. This thing's called a makor. It's like a fucking.
Is it like
ibex.
a deer thing, or
No, it's like an ibex. It's like a goat with like curved horns or whatever. But it's like very obviously Photoshopped too. But of course, it exploded all over Twitter, and then the Pakistani news said that they went into their fact checking thing, and then they're saying that it's photoshopped or whatever. But literally, there was like death threats on this guy's life and shit, and like it was a really like lock this guy down, safe house kind of situation because they thought he was like murking these fucking goats.
I mean, this is gonna be a little insensitive, but Pakistan's internet is that good to fact check? Or
I don't know. I don't think they got Google over there. But anyway, they're using like they're starting to use like Photoshop photos of like politicians hunting to like trigger people. So that's sick. I'm sure there'll be more to come on that.
To
Can't wait to
trigger
see
people.
Can't wait to see Joe Biden's face photoshopped onto like Pinkalla with an elk.
Just
And
hire-
people are just like,
dude,
look
and
at
the
him.
thing is, the thing is like in the article, right? They call out because like, you know, they did some investigation into it. And then they like drop the name of the guy who actually killed it in the article. They're like, no, it's actually this guy who paid like this much money to like do it. And I'm like, what? If I was that, I'd be like, what the fuck?
You're like,
Hey,
yo, what?
like, I
What?
did it.
What?
This would be
Wasn't
like the
that guy?
dentist thing with the lion all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god.
Oh shit.
Current event wise for me, I had honestly like, I don't know, dude. I drove for 30 something hours. Like I haven't looked at anything. Nothing happened. It's crazy. I know, Cody, you've done these cross country drives before.
Yeah.
Like when you leave in a morning from one place, watch a sunset, watch it rise again, and then that time you watch it set again,
Oh yeah.
that's when you're like, wow. Like
the best.
you're
the
just like,
best.
holy
Oh,
shit, man.
Dude, it's the absolute worst. The best that I can figure is I seem to leave, or I used to seem to leave at like 8-9 o'clock when the sun was going down. So I would get, you know, most of the night done while I was totally awake. And then when the sun would come up, I'm still kind of awake,
But the
But then
sun
once
came up,
the
so
sun-
you're good. Once the sun comes up, you're good.
When it comes back up.
It's when it comes back up, when it's
Yes.
fully up. But when that crest is coming where it's shining in your eyes and you're like kind of squinting, you're like, oh God.
Yeah, that's not great.
Oh, and you
Yeah.
come back to, dude, that is the worst. The sunrise is the absolute worst.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I will tell people too, like, obviously, you know, if you need to pull over, like, you know, get some sleep, be
Yeah,
safe.
if you want to.
However, with that said,
Yeah.
nothing wakes you up like a shot in the arm of adrenaline when you do fall asleep driving and you wake up and you're like, I fell
Yeah.
asleep.
That's a
That
guaranteed
shot of adrenaline, you're
guaranteed
good
30
for
minutes.
Well, I was gonna say hour, 3 hours.
Well, it
That's
gets you to
advice.
the next bang stop.
Yeah, and it'll get you to the next stop. You need coffee or something like that. Nothing. Sticking your head out the window, turning the music up, slapping yourself. Nothing works like actually accidentally falling asleep and then waking up.
Best
Mhm.
advice: keep driving.
That's good.
Yeah, that was
Dude,
good.
I did one time. It was. I've never experienced anything like this before. So I drove back from a tournament. I kept my boat in Tennessee, drove back to Wisconsin. Then 2 weeks later, I think I fished a tournament and I had to be in Champlain. I had to be up at Champlain for a tournament for an FLW event. And like practice was that day. And I was cutting it close. Like drove all the way down to Nashville, then picked up my boat at like who knows what time in the morning, then had to drive all the way to upstate New York. It was 34 hours total, straight shot. I slept at this, I pulled into this gas station and there's this like super innocent Indian man. And I just like, I'm sitting there, look like I'm on drugs, and I'm just like crawling over in my seat, like barely made it on the turnpike to New York, where you go from like New York, you go to Albany, or you go to New York City.
Yep.
It's super busy.
It is.
And I'm
Confirmed,
like,
just drove through it.
I'm like, cruise is set on like 66 because I can barely see mustard and mayonnaise, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, and it feels like a fever dream the whole time. You have no idea who you are, where you're at,
Profusely sweating.
and you're just looking at your you're just looking at your map. You're like,
Yeah.
2 hours to go, 2 hours to go, let's go, baby. You're like, oh my gosh.
You see, I told Griff, like, the moment you see under, like, you made your last gas stop, even if it's 2.5 hours, you're like, I'm there.
Oh, you look at
Yeah.
500 miles, like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
See 6 hours, and I'm like, that's just a drive to Bemidji. Do that all the time. No problem.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've done that. I've done that. Like there's like 2 times in my life where it's been like I've finished a top 10 and had to go right to another tournament to like fish the first practice day. And you wake up in the parking lot of the launch. Everybody's launched. You're like, okay, let's go fishing.
Dude, those long drives,
Yeah.
it's like I always
Yeah.
do that Colorado drive every fall.
Mm-hmm.
And that that
Mhm.
one, I mean, it's kind of shitty because it's like literally just straight, like for most
Yeah.
of it. Once you get out of
Yep.
Iowa, you're just like, I'm going left. But like honestly, I get those ones where you're driving for like, 10 hours or so. And then
Mhm.
at some point you're just like, you pull into a gas stop or whatever, and you're like, I don't fucking remember the last 7 hours at all.
No. You know why?
Like not even any recollection. Not like, yeah, I seen this one deer. Nothing. Fucking
I don't
zero.
I don't even remember having my hands on the wheel.
That's the thing.
Because
you're just
I'm
like,
literally watching a movie on my cell phone and autopilot, my knee is taking me the place that I need to go for 15 hours straight. And I'm like, Jesus, it's a semi. All right. All right, Bolo. All right.
It's wild, dude. Your brain just goes to like a different place, man.
Oh, you
Yeah,
become.
I don't
numb
remember
to it.
Ohio
Yeah, like you just
at
don't
all.
remember.
Nothing.
You wake
I
up
didn't
and
take
you're
the
like,
turnpike either. I was like,
Bart drove the whole state, and people would be like, "You ever been to Ohio?" He's like, "No."
No,
Yeah.
haven't been there.
Not
Have
really.
No idea.
Mm-mm.
Oh
I have
my
2
God.
credit card bills from there, I
Insane.
think, but no, never been.
It's
Couldn't
Yeah.
even tell you.
Well, especially when you do it all at night, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
you
it's
have
those long night
no
ones where
clue.
you're just like, "Whoa."
Like
yeah, it was all at night. Yeah,
I learned to trick my brain through Illinois because usually the trek was down south, like
And
through Illinois,
The long
Yeah.
way, yeah.
the long way.
yeah. You
I'm
don't
like,
know how long Illinois is until you got to drive through
Where-
it the long way.
North
Where-
south, yeah.
Holy shit!
What a shit state.
Oh, it's terrible.
If you're listening from Illinois, you know I'm right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's absolutely
exactly.
nothing there.
It's awful.
Nothing there.
Oh my goodness.
Well, like you trick yourself to go there at like 9, so that when the sun comes up, you're like, "What? Where are we? Where are we? Southern
what?
Illinois."
Southern
Yeah,
Illinois.
damn.
Yeah, still not even out yet.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But yeah, so anyways, just long drives. The only thing I would say is I am pretty excited. I'm excited that we're pretty done with our travel for the year and everything, just to be back home. And last 2 weeks of football, get to watch the playoffs and the Super Bowl, and then we roll into March Madness. So sports wise, we're rolling into literally the best time of the year, in my opinion. Get to see, the conference championships, and then get a little bit of March Madness, some Masters, and
Yeah.
days are getting longer. It's getting warmer, and it happens fast. So I'm excited for that.
So
Go
speaking
Joe
of
Burrow.
sports, I think we got a little something we can talk about, eh?
Yeah, we can roll into next segment.
Let's
So
go.
next segment we'll roll into. So I need to make this yet. I still haven't. But we're going to be doing a Bassmaster fantasy fishing. No, we're not going to do the MLF one because we don't want to. Plain and
because
simple.
it sucks.
Not
There
going to
you have
watch
it.
it. So there you go.
Pointless.
But we're going to do a Bassmaster one. And I think we're going to do a little Bassmaster Elite Series preview right now. Some of you guys might not pay attention to tournament bass fishing, but it's honestly probably the biggest outdoor sport we have going right now. So, like, if you guys want to see fishing and then outdoors get bigger, support it. It's pretty interesting. We're going to talk about it because we're tournament junkies, but we're not going to do it like other outdoor podcasts where we talk about it for like 2.5 hours. So we're just going to have a brief, short segment here and chat about the fantasy fishing part, and maybe talk about the season that we're excited for since we are rolling into it.
Sick. Yeah, because we got, the first event's coming up in a couple weeks, right? It's about 2.5, 3 weeks out. The first one's Okeechobee, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's Okeechobee, and then they go to Seminole.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
February
I'm trying to bring up
16th.
the schedule right now because I definitely wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
I got
So
it.
I think our
I
game
got it
plan
for
right
us,
now,
Bart.
we're gonna make like our own group, right, and allow other people to join.
Yeah, I
in.
have to make the group. So I definitely still need to do that. But
So we're gonna do that, and we'll wait for Will to get back to talk about this part. But essentially, between the four of us, we're gonna have a wager, and I think the grand loser of the whole situation is gonna have some sort of punishment to deal with on this one.
Yeah, did anyone have any ideas for a punishment? I don't even think the winner
I think we should
should
wait
get
for.
anything.
No, the
I think-
winner. The winner is just dick swinging comp, but like I think the loser.
The
definitely-
loser's definitely got to
definitely
be the
needs
prize.
to pay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll wait for Will because we'll have to brainstorm this.
My idea for punishment is the loser has to drive down to El Paso and back, just getting gas. That's it. You don't get to stop and sleep.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, it is. It's awful. You have to live stream the
You
whole
have-
thing.
You have to be on the podcast the entire time.
Yeah, we'll record like two or what we'll do is if that's it, we'll like literally pick a destination and say you have to drive there and back. Like that's your punishment.
There has to be something on the end that they have to like collect and bring
Yeah,
back.
yeah, they have to go get something. Sure.
Like,
But,
like
like,
one
we'll order
cactus
something?
quill.
Yeah, we'll
order
order
from like a pizza place in El Paso, and they have to pick it up.
And they have to be there by a certain time. So we'll like time it out.
Yeah.
We'll time it out. But what we'll do is we will pop on as a podcast like
During
maybe
the drive.
6 times during their drive and just record a 10-minute segment, and I'll save them and splash them into random episodes for the next few years. So you just get to watch their just their life leave them. Basically, as it happens. So for the people who don't have to do the drives we do sometimes around the country or down south, you will see how much we must love the outdoors and fishing, because holy shit, by the end of that, are you dead? So that's an idea. I think that's a good idea.
Or if anyone else has a good idea, send it to us.
Yeah, and we're talking like we want to do punishments that like we don't want anyone getting hurt or like in trouble or anything.
Or like hurt a lot.
Well,
yeah,
or
like hurt maybe a
legally.
little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit is allowed.
I mean, feelings can be hurt.
But like something
Fair
that I think the worst punishments are something where it's like it's so tedious and annoying that you're just gonna hate it so much because it's just so minusculely small. Like take a 2,000 pack of toothpicks and just like dump it in the backyard in the grass and be like, have fun.
And then have to pick it up again.
Yeah, just something.
And you
like
have
that.
to be within 10.
Yeah.
Well, no matter what it is, it's getting filmed. So whatever
That
this ends up
actually
being,
sounds
we're
horrible.
filming it.
Yeah. So different ideas. Like for example, I listened to another podcast. I'm sure a lot of people listen to Pardon My Take. But Hahner, did you hear what their punishment is for their bets all year?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so their bets, like they do spreads and overs and unders for football games all year, and the loser and second place, which I think is hilarious, but the loser in second place had to. So what the punishment is you have to bowl 300. However, every beer you drink takes, I think it was like 5 pins off. And every hot dog you every hot dog you eat takes 2 pins off.
I like this. Something like that would be good.
So basically, but like you have to do it. So like everything stacks. So it could take multiple days, but like if you get 30 beers deep, man, you only have to bowl 150. But like you're
30 beers deep and you got to bowl 150.
Yeah. It's very funny. I'm very excited to see how it goes down. It's very creative. But because everyone's seen a league where they do the ACT or something like that, like which were good originally, but I think something creatively like just that's a nuisance is great. Like that's why I brought up that you have to drive here, pick up a pizza, and bring it back to us.
So we're currently open for suggestions.
Yes,
because we have until the first tournament of the season. We have until the 16th to decide.
I think a good one would be if Cody loses, he has to listen to every Packers game on the radio.
On the radio, I'm fine with that.
And they cut.
Never mind. I hate that.
And they cut off with 5 minutes left.
5 minutes left? Oh, that would be killer.
That's the most stressful part of the game. So
really, if Bart loses, you have to flip with your ice fishing rod that you're using right now.
For one of the opens?
For one of the Toyota series.
Well, it won't be done by then. So it would have to be in 2024. But we could figure something out with that.
Yeah.
But no, we could definitely come up with something. Maybe then what we'll do is we'll make, if Hahner loses, he has to listen. He can't watch a Packers game all year, but he has to listen to every Vikings game on the radio.
That would be horrible.
Someone's like,
"There's no way."
I gotta be looking up some stats here.
Hey, did you watch a game? Couldn't.
But
the Vikings lost, so that was neat.
Oh my god!
So then, when the Vikings play the Packers, you're like, yes, I
get tickets to the game. You coming in? No, I can't.
I can't do it.
You're in the game, turned around,
Past The Barb podcast,
just like rocking back and forth. All right,
boys,
but yeah. Anyways,
what do you guys think of this season?
Yeah, for the tournament schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll briefly, for people who don't know the Bassmaster Elite Series schedule, basically start off on Lake Okeechobee in Florida. Next one is Lake Seminole, which is technically they're going out of Georgia, but it's right on the border. Then they got Lake Murray in South Carolina, Santee Cooper in South Carolina, Lay Lake in Alabama, Sabine River in Texas. That's going to suck. Lake St. Clair in Michigan, Champlain in New York, and then end it on the St. Lawrence up in New York as well. But yeah, what do you guys think? What's an event you're really excited for?
Dude, that's Sabine River.
Honestly, though, that's like
You must be fun at parties.
Because every one of these tournaments and the dates that they're at are just like
hammer holes.
Hitters.
Yeah.
Like you can't be mad. Like if you can't catch fish at this time of the year on these places at these dates, then you don't deserve to be there. Like these, like plain and point. Other than there's one struggle bus, which everyone knows is Sabine River, which like that's the big ultimatum. That's like that's the big outlier. But every one of them is just crazy good.
I'm really pumped.
But it's going to be a grinder there, dude.
Well, yeah, the Sabine, it's going to be a crazy grinder. But
yeah, but Bass will collect their yearly check or whatever. So that's good. Yeah. But no, I'm most excited for. I'm really excited for Lake Murray. I've heard that the fishing's been really good there and getting better. I think MLF FLW went there and it was really good. So I'm excited to see Murray, and then selfishly Lay, because this is one of the few places I've actually fished down south before like the Elite Series or anything big has recently been there. So like it's kind of exciting because you're like, oh, I've been there. I know where they're going to go. Like, how are they going to attack it? And Lay Lake's really good. Like it'll be very cool. There's a lot of different things they can do there. So other than that, I'm excited for the fact that you are going to see some very, very, very big fish. Very big fish.
Yeah, it should be cool to see some more like guys really swinging, and posting some big bags. Because I feel like the past couple seasons haven't been that way. They've only had like 2 or 3 mixed in that were just slugfest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah, Bass has been doing good. But then another one, Cody, you might be able to actually fill in on this a bit better with some more experience out that way. St. Lawrence at the end of August when they're going there.
Oh, dude!
Could we see we're going to see even bigger than we did with Jay's 100 last year, right?
Yeah.
We could see dirty 30s. If the wind's
I would say if the wind's good, if like they have, because when they were out there that last year, I mean, they saw the premier conditions. I mean, glass calm. Like if you can get glass calm on a Great Lake, like where you can actually see them, you're probably going to catch them, especially with like a motion of the ocean where there's still like currents coming into certain spots and pushing water temps into certain spots. You're going to catch them. That's all there is to it. And
this will be the first time they're going back to St. Clair too, since Fighter had that epic last day.
Oh, dude,
where everyone knew he was going to win. He was just cranking and catching 5-pounders every cast.
You better have 25 plus a day to win that one.
I think this is a good schedule too.
25 plus.
The smallmouth events, you're going to see a lot of live. That's obviously going to be a big player. Champlain could be either smallies or largies. But I think what's cool about all the events before this, I don't think it's going to be a big live year for largemouth.
I think Murray's going to be actually like the coolest live.
Oh, really?
I really do.
In April? That time of April?
You think they're going to be offshore already?
They'll be offshore by then?
I think so. I think it's going to either be you're going to
Santee's kind of going to be a bitch. They're going there at the end of April. That'll be a little bit tough, won't it?
No, I think they're going to be all locked up on beds or pre-spawn on Santee. But Murray, I think it's going to be either two polar opposites. Like they're either on beds, on docks, or they're going to be still schooling on blueback herring and just hard on that game, because it seems like lakes with blueback herring, I mean, it's a flip of the switch. There's no pre-spawn whatsoever. It's like they just roll up. And like Murray is a huge blueback herring lake, but it has predominantly, unlike Hartwell, it seems to have like nowadays is a 70-30 split of 70 spotted bass versus 30 largemouth, 30% largemouth. And Murray is the opposite, where it has, say, maybe 60% largemouth and 40% spots. But the largemouth in there are big, like a lot of 5-pounders, a lot of 6-pounders, plenty of 7-pounders in there. But they act the same way. They're just bait chasing fish. So it's either going to be super locked onto bed or, toying around with bait fish.
I just think from like
super cool
entertainment value, I think having a mix of these ones that are going to be just like shallow water warfare and people are going to be catching bigs is going to be sick. Versus like these ones where it's somebody's dialing on an offshore pattern, which is cool to watch, but it's like once they've got it figured out and they kind of have it to themselves, it's not the same.
Right. And I think like Murray is different from that, because it's not going to be just one spot, because those fish are so mobile and they're just like constantly chasing bait. Like they don't care if there's like, sure, they'll use a stick for a second, but most of the time they're just like literally just sitting behind tails and just like wandering behind tails the entire time. And wherever that tail takes them, that's where they're going to set up. And I think that's a cool part about blueback herring lakes is like you have to stay mobile. You have to stay on top of them, because one spot the one day is great, and the other day it's just a ghost town because they're a half a mile that way. That school of fish that you're fishing. That's super cool. I think that's going to be an awesome tournament.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good year. It's just very. This is one of the years where everything's very different. Like every place that goes very different. Even the smallmouth venues are very different. Like St. Clair is going to be so many big fish, but it's just
Champlain. People forget about like the last couple of years with Champlain. Champlain has been this smallmouth like dominated tournament, but people forget how good of a largemouth fishery that place is. I mean, bro, I've made runs down to tie with like 40 minutes to fish and come back with 18 pounds.
Well, didn't the last time the Elite Series was there 2 years ago? Didn't Brian Schmidt win it with largies?
Yes.
Yeah,
a mixed bag up north.
That
too.
Should be an exciting shootout.
It's not not like Ticonderoga has gone downhill a little bit, but I think that could come into play here. I don't know if it's going to come into play this year or the next time they go there, but Ticonderoga is still a major player, and there's so many freaking fish in there. If you ever go to fish there at like night and watch how many largemouth are busting in the mats and like open air chasing shiners and perch and stuff like that, it's amazing. Like,
and how
you can tell,
far of a run is that from where they take off?
It's to the best stuff, it's like 77 miles. But
that'll be sick. I mean, those have always been cool. Like the ones where people are making long runs as a not just like one guy, like some of that Pollinix shit over the past couple of years,
Yeah.
But
it's cool too, because like the running thing with Champlain now, and you got Fighter. He won Angler of the Year 2 years ago. This last year, it wasn't like a postseason slump. It happens to literally everyone who wins an Angler of the Year. They're just like, I'm good, and they kind of chill the next year.
Yeah.
I think it's nice that you get this Champlain event after that, and a St. Clair where he's won, and like I don't think there's any place in the country Fighter wants to win more than Champlain, because he's got a lot of seconds there, and he's really good there. So
Yeah.
that'll be a very fun one to watch. And something cool we saw when the live just coming out the last time they were there was like Fighter was chucking a black hair jig around sailboats in 60 feet of water. There's a little marabou just pitching it at sailboats. Like that's
shade underneath the boats.
It's so cool. But anyways, we'll move on from this. Yeah, we're gonna chat Elite Series stuff all year. We'll preview Lake Okeechobee here in probably like 2 weeks or so. Help you out with your fantasy fishing picks. We'll make a Past the Barb group, and we'll figure out a winner's package for whoever wins our group from. I mean, some of us are sponsored by different companies, but we'll kind of put together like a Pass the Barb pack from some of our sponsors and friends, and maybe Pink will donate a cookbook from.
So if you guys want to get in on our group, make sure you watch for that and listen to our episodes. We'll be telling how to get in on there.
Yeah, and if you don't see it, it's probably because I forgot to make it, so bug me.
Yeah, Pink, you could like pick up a dead deer and send it to someone or something.
I could. We could strap one out and just ship it.
Yeah, yeah. I think that'd be it.
That'd be that'll be good. We'll just write Past the Barb on some cardboard and wrap her around there, and off you go.
A dead raccoon. Good luck.
Tight lines.
Tight lines. Add paprika.
All right. No, that's good. That's good. All right. So we're going to roll into our last segment here, and then we're going to tidy it up just so we don't run a little too long today, since we know we're a little late in the week already. But last segment we're going to do is Notes on Your Phone. So Notes on Your Phone is it's a segment. I mean, it's literally what it says it is, but we just kind of throw notes in our phone whenever we're on the road and we see crazy things. And me and Pink were just on the road a lot. I think a lot of this stuff I'm going to end up talking about next week when the Chronicles stuff comes in. However, I'll lead it off. I got a note in my phone from one thing that I know Pink has to talk about, when we'll both talk about, because we both had interest. I mean, you had a lot of interesting Boston experiences, but when I met up with him on the East Coast, literally just looks at me and he's like, yeah, so I saw my first drug deal. So I literally have Pinkalla drug deal Boston typed into my notes. So Pink, can you kind of elaborate a little bit on that?
So we went out to Boston. We flew in there, and how much of this can I disclose of the?
Preferably just the drug deal.
Okay, so we're in Boston.
Magically appeared there.
So we're in Boston, TD Garden. That's like where the Bruins play and stuff, right? At the rink is there. And they got like connected to it in that same building. There's like a big like mall thing or whatever. So we're in Boston, waiting around for some stuff. And so we go and we grab like a burger or whatever at some hole in the wall bar. Like we're like downtown, right? And there's like, it's crazy because there's like 0 people out because the Bruins were playing. So like there is no one there, like outside, right? Yeah. And anyways, so we're dicking around with that, and then we're just trying to kill some time. So we were walking down towards like where the harbor is in Boston, which is like right across the highway from there.
With this bluefish in the harbor.
Yeah, looking for the bluefish. And so we're walking down. I don't even know what the hell road it is, whatever, the main ass road right there. And there's a guy sitting just like on like a bench thing or whatever, just sitting on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you don't think anything of it until like after this all goes down, but he's sitting there and he's wearing like a backpack, right? But he has like another backpack also, which like would not faze me at all normally. But so we're just like walking, and it's like night. This is like middle of the night. We're just like walking down the thing, and there's 3 of us, and we're just shooting the shit. And so in like where the TD Garden thing is, there's like this giant escalator thing that comes down like right into the middle of like basically the street. It's super weird. Right. But the only other, so it's us, this guy sitting there, and like one guy coming down the like steps escalator thing. And he's like walking, and we all like converge at the same moment, right? At the end of this thing. And the guy's like walking across in front of us and totally just mean mugging like really fucking hard. And we're like, I don't know what the fuck this guy's deal is. And he walks right up to the guy just sitting there and literally just scoops up the backpack that the other guy has and just puts it on and continues walking like to the bridge that goes like across the fucking bay to the other side of, and then the other guy just like stands up and then just walks up the fucking escalator into the building.
We're
You're like,
talking
yeah,
some
that was
Matt
cocaine.
Damon Born Identity.
Yeah.
And
Did you see Jason Bourne?
Out loud? So we all just kind of look at each other for 1 second, and like Waldron just looks at me and just goes, "So that was a drug deal." Like out loud. Like the dude probably heard him say that. He was like right there. And then we just like continued going down to the goddamn harbor or whatever. Fuck, just. But I mean, just like, yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
There's a lot of
awesome.
stories that'll eventually
That's
come out
awesome.
from that. But that was one. I looked at my phone and I vividly remember throwing that in my phone, and I was like, "That's a Past The Barb story."
That's
Oh
awesome.
my god.
So I got another one too. Pink got a. This will end up being in the video very briefly, but it was because I was driving home. But when we were leaving where we were, we left up there and it had snowed about 14 inches in like 8 hours. Like, to give you an idea, Hunter, it was snowing so hard when we left. I was getting Pink a rental car to take down to the airport. My truck was parked outside for 20 minutes, and I walked back outside to get in it, and Griff just hung in there before we left.
Yeah.
It snowed 2.5 inches in that 20 minutes.
Oh
Dude, it was a
gosh.
complete whiteout, and
It
we
was
were driving
insane.
like, yeah, it's well, and like, yeah, we had a truck that we had to like, whatever, we had to return this truck, and we had to get something else because they wouldn't let us like change the reservation, so we had to give them the truck we had and then get like a SUV thing that we were then going to drive to Boston. And literally complete white. I mean, even the lady at the thing was like, "Well, I'm going to give you this SUV," because we were supposed to rent a car. She's like, "Oh, I'll give you this SUV because you'll definitely die for sure."
Right.
Like,
yeah, totally.
Yeah, that was nuts. But
it was complete whiteout.
So Griff and I leave to like start driving home. One thing I will say, I'm sure you noticed this, Pink. I thought it was really cool about their roads and kind of how they operate in major storms. But so they have flashing signs that reduce the speed limit to 45 miles an hour when there's a snowstorm because plows are in tow. That traffic was 10 times better than anything I've ever seen in the Midwest.
However, based on what I saw there, that rule does not apply to fucking semi trucks.
Yes, except for that. Except semi trucks don't obey it. They try to run you right off the fucking road. If you're a semi driver,
not even in the left
you.
lane, just right in the middle.
Yeah. If you're a semi driver listening to this, fuck you. Know that everybody hates you because you're just like, I'm on the road all the time, so I'm going to bulldoze my way through. And guess what? I saw one of you rolled over 2 miles after you did pass me and almost run over the road, and I flipped you off on the way by because I do not care. Yeah. No. Fuck semi
schedule to
drivers.
make.
Not salty.
No. Yeah, I agree with Pink. They do not care about that. But
no.
The 45 mile an hour thing I thought was super cool. I'm sure you noticed it. Like traffic just kind of kept rolling for the most part. You didn't have Kyle in the left lane doing 73 and then Grandma Jean in the right just going like 21.
No, it was pretty much like till we got to Boston. Then it was just a war zone. But
yeah, and you're not going to avoid that. But everything else was really good. So anyways, Griff and I are driving back. We're getting right into the heart of our drive. We're out of Boston in some town outside of Boston. I knew it was going to be Sketchville, but I had to take a leak, and it had finally stopped snowing. So I pull into this gas station. Griff hops out, and he's going to have a cigarette. I'm like, cool, like I'm going to be out in a minute. Maybe grab something to bite, but whatever. So I run into this gas station, and I like open the door. And like as I'm opening the door to this bathroom, there's a Post-it note on the mirror that just got put there, like not by staff or anything, and it just said wet paint, and it pointed to the left. So like I was just like, oh, okay, like they're painting the bathroom. I walk in, and the wet paint was very wet paint. It was actually dripping black. It was so wet and fresh, and it was all graffiti with Crips like gang writing and symbols all over it.
It's so nice of them to have put up a wet paint sign for that.
Yeah, but they put up a wet paint sign on the mirror, so that was really nice. But so I was like, oh my god. So I like take a piss, and I'm like, I need to get it. Like, I'm a Midwest white boy. Like, I need to get out of here.
Should probably leave.
Yeah, I don't belong. So I get outside, I look at Griff, and I'm like, hey, we need to get out of here. Like, let's just get back on the road. We hop in the truck, and we start driving. 10 minutes later, my tire alarm goes off. And when Griff and I had left the UP, driving home, I had just gotten new tires. And when you get new tires, like sometimes it takes a little bit for them to set in, and like you have to fill them a few times or whatever, just from running them since they're brand new. So I was like, oh, and one that had happened on our way home from the UP. So I was just like, oh, okay, I just got to put air in my tire quick. Well, him and I pull into this gas station, literally open the door, take one step, and all we hear is you're like, sick. I'm like, well, I have
air coming out of the tire.
Yeah, so I was
Probably
like, I'm like, okay, well, I have AAA and a spare tire. Like, we can figure this out. Well, we get over there, and it looks like there's a nail sticking out of the tire. We're like, oh, whatever. Okay, so he's like, do you have a plug? I was like, no, but I'll see if they have one inside. So run inside. They do. They actually had one left. So buy it, pop back out. Griff's sitting there yanking on this nail, trying to get it out. We're digging through the back of the truck, and thank God I remembered Waldron was like, I'm going to give you my tool set in case something happens with a tire. Something happened with the tire, had his tool set. Get in there, grab the wrench and pliers, break it. We're like, sick, awesome. We had the tools, but so we end up taking some of the tungsten tools for removing jigs and shaving off the plastic edges of them and getting it to come out. But Griff's literally sitting there going, why won't this fucking nail come out? Like, it's not that hard to grab a nail, and I can't grab this nail. Well, he ends up pulling it out, and what was jammed in my tire was a shell casing from a handgun that had gotten fired at the gas station I was at previously very recently. And that's what popped my tire. I actually have it. It's sitting in the front of my truck right now. I could run out to my driveway and grab it if you guys wanted to see it.
That was actually a super good Snapchat because we were just getting on a shuttle to the airport when we got that. And Waldron, he just says whatever out loud. So we're literally on a bus full of people going to the airport. And he's like, Bart just pulled a bullet out of his tire. Look. And everyone's like, what the
It's fuck? A bullet. Yeah. His tire got shot. Bart got shot at. That's probably how that went.
Oh shit.
But yeah, no, so that happened to me. That was there. And then other note on my phone was just from I can't say exactly where we were, but the sheer amount of salt they use on food in the Northeast is unbelievable. And their roads too.
Food and roads.
And food and roads.
Ridiculous.
Dude, they don't use beer battering or flour or I don't know, just coating on food, whatever you deep fry it with. You just put half a pound of salt on it. That's you just dip it in salt. That's
their magical
thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's their thing. So we'll talk about that more coming up.
The road salt thing was out of control.
The road salt thing was
the one day
literally
it snowed
crazy.
Probably 10, 12 inches one day. And within hours, the road was just black. Snow didn't even exist anymore. Holy shit.
Yeah, and the area of the country we're in, they have no infested fish, no transporting water. Take care of your fisheries. We love eagles. Everything's beautiful. But we will put millions of pounds of salt on the road.
The roads weren't gravel, but you wouldn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, there was so much salt and sand. So much.
Well, this is smooth sailing.
Honestly,
a gravel
it was
highway. This
driving.
is crazy.
Thank you, Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
But yeah, no. Cody, you got a note on your phone?
I did have a note, but after your gas station story, I kind of wanted to add on to one that Connor Graham and I went about down in southern Georgia one time, and
Okay.
it's not current, but we're
No,
gonna
that's
make
fine.
it.
That's what.
We're gonna
Yeah,
make
that's
it
what
part of
this
the current
podcast
event.
is for.
So we were talking about late night drives, whatever, earlier in the podcast, and this was a late night drive. Connor met me up at my house in Wausau, Wisconsin, and we drove down all the way through the night trying to get to Central Florida to the Kissimmee chain, and we had to make a stop in southern Georgia. And northern Georgia is awesome. It's a great time. Like super bougie for the most part. Atlanta, like big town, whatever, but outskirts of it are very wealthy, super nice, whatever. But southern Georgia, when you get on that Florida Georgia line, woof, woof. And we stopped at, oh my God. We stopped at this one gas station, and like we pulled into the gas station. It's this huge, just semi trailer lot. I mean, we pulled in, I got some gas, and all I see are just critters just walking along, just critters out and about. When I say critters, I mean lot lizards
Used.
everywhere. I'm not saying like a couple. There's like 10, 20.
This
just
is
like
like
going from truck to truck.
the mass migration.
Yes, there's a lot of them. And I'm looking at Connor, and Connor's like, "You see that?" I'm like, "How did I not see that?
Did you see that?
How did I not see that?" So we walk into the gas station, and it's fully lit. And I'm like, "All right, well, I got to take a piss and maybe grab some like spicy chips to keep me awake or something. I don't know, and an energy drink or whatever." And we walk into the gas station side by side, and we look, and the guy working the counter is staring at, mind you, this is the most bizarre thing I've seen in 5 to 8 years of traveling on the road. This guy is staring at a bubble TV that's about this big, like, and about that wide. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like one of those little TVs. And he's chowing on this like chowder type thing, like a soup.
Mm-hmm.
And he's chowing on this chowder, and the chowder is coming down the seams of his lips.
Some chowder.
And he's chowing on it, and he looks up at us.
If you
And
don't subscribe
mind
on
you,
YouTube,
we
you
have
should.
been driving for 20 hours to see this guy chowing on this chowder, and to see it dripping off of his cuff, this white substance. We're like, holy fuck. All right. I'm like, grab your chips, fucking go. I got to go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom. And as on my way to the bathroom, I see this skeleton woman who's like one of these, who's like this like methed out person with a mop. Like, holy Jesus Christ. Like, oh my God. Like, she almost hit me. She almost touched me. I'm like, all right, to the bathroom, whatever, not a big deal. And I go to the bathroom. There's like 3 urinals, 2 stalls, whatever. Go to the first urinal. There's a shit in it.
As one does.
Go to the next urinal. Pepper sprayed. Go to the next urinal. Pepper sprayed with a shit in it. Go to the stall.
Here it comes.
There's a white gooey substance all over the fucking walls. And as I look down, as I'm trying to pee, there is a hole with duct tape around it that says, call my number. It's literally a Dumb and Dumber effect. Call my number at this time if you're here. Look at the time. It is that time. Zip the pants. Run outside. I'm like, okay, all right. This place is a human trafficking place. That's all there is. I'm like, all right, I gotta at least grab a bag of chips or something. Grab a bag of chips. It like, you know how a bag of chips is like inflated and you can't compress it, whatever. Compressed. The next bag of chips I grab, compressed. The next bag of chips I grab, compressed. And I grab that bag of chips, and there's a pinhole in that bag of chips.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Connor saw it too. You ask Connor Graham all about this story. He will verify every minute of it. We ran out of there as fast as we could, turned down the truck, and fucking ripped down the highway with zero gas, zero food, zero energy drinks. It was the worst experience of my life.
Well, at least you didn't post up at the Georgia glory hole too long.
Because we would have been in Taiwan.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you'd have been sold. No question.
I mean,
Cody wouldn't do well overseas.
No, my tight ass? Yeah, no. Dude, it was unbelievable.
Oh,
I've never experienced anything like that in my life.
Oh God. No, yeah. That is a good gas station story. That is a very good
Georgia.
Very good gas station story. That just made me think of, all right, I got one more gas station story from this trip I'll give out. This one wasn't on film either. But just kind of with the theme of everything. So we got off from fishing one day. We go pull up to this gas station. I'm just blown away that no other part of the country's ever heard of Quick Trip or like Casey's or something nice, because every gas station just sucks. None of them are nice. Anywhere except the Midwest, evidently. But we go pull up to this gas station, and I don't know, like whatever. I just pull in and park and just open the door, and this car had just backed out by me, but then it had stopped, and I just kind of shut my door, and I turned to go walk in, and this guy had just like walked up, and he's just staring at where his car was, and I could visibly watch him, like, you know, what Disney Pixar movie has the emotions? They're little emojis.
Oh yeah, they're in your brain.
Yeah, they're in your brain. It's with Amy Poehler, and
yeah.
I can't think of it, but like the rage one where like you watch it bubble up and just get mad. I'm watching that happen to his face. Like, and he is, mind you, just got out of my car. He walks up to right where he was parked. He's 4 feet from me, staring down at the ground, getting rage, and I just hear, "Fuck that motherfucker!" And he's like, kind of looks at me, and I'm like, and like, Griff's gone, Luke's dipped, because they see like this happening.
Away.
He's feet away from me, and I'm like, The Simpsons. I'm in danger. Like, that's exactly what goes off in my brain. And he just like turns, and I could hear him exhale like really loudly and angrily. And I was like, I'm gonna go in the gas station. Run over to the door, get in, look at Luke, and he's like, "Did you just see that?" I'm like, "You left me to die. Like, you abandoned me at the moment of adversity. Done. Just left me behind. Griff gone. Like, I was dead." But basically, I don't know, Pink, did you even see him or Waldo?
Well,
I don't think you guys did. You were a bit behind me.
No, we were in the parking lot, and I saw it, but I didn't know what was happening because I couldn't hear it. We were still in our truck, like on the other side of the parking lot. And like I pull in, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like looking across, and I see the guy or whatever. But I didn't know, like, I thought you were like talking to this guy.
Yeah, no, I definitely
was
wasn't.
like, oh,
he was just yelling.
we're like sitting there. I'm like drinking something or whatever. I'm like, oh, looks like they're talking to this guy. And then like, oh, because then the guy just like storms off.
Yes, he did. He stormed off and got in his truck and left. I still
So I
have
was
no
like-
idea what he was mad about. If he left his phone, someone stole something from him. But he was
No
looking
idea.
for something where a car was. I have no idea what it was. But he was
I don't know.
definitely not happy. But however, that gas station, I did find sweet chili barbecue Doritos that I've never seen before.
Oh, dude, you were hyped on those.
Yeah, they got smashed at the house immediately.
Yeah,
they were
solid.
good. They were pretty good.
Definitely solid.
It was just, it's nice to have a chip you haven't seen a flavor for before. Just something a little different.
Right on.
But
No, they were solid.
yeah, no. Other than that, yeah, I don't have anything else. We'll have another episode of Past the Barb next week. We apologize for getting this up a day late, but like, there was literally no way around this, and I think we made up for it. I think this was a good episode. So if you're new to the podcast, please rate, subscribe, and send it to your friends so that by Lake Seminole, you guys can hear a story about Hahner's last time he was at Seminole. And it is a very long story. It's a very good story. And yeah, we might have to dance around some fences with it, but it'll be really good if you guys.
It's funny.
It's very funny. Everybody will laugh.
All right. Well, we'll have
yeah.
way more stories about our trip too next week. So
yes, and we'll have way more stories about the trip. We'll have the rest of the Chronicles guys on, but other than that, thank you everybody for listening. And this has been another episode of Past the Barb.